should be like you, Melvin.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Cherries fans from around the world. Welcome back to another edition of Cherry Slaps tonight. And what an update we've got for you. We can't have it always go our way, can we? I want to get involved the guests for tonight. And of course, Malcolm Chiverton, always welcoming me. How you doing, Malcolm? You okay?
Hi, Ollie. Great to see you again, mate. Yeah, all good.
Excellent. Good. And a familiar face that obviously everyone will know. Craig joins us tonight. How you doing, Craig?
Yeah, all good, Ollie. All good. Good to not be the host and be interviewed. It's quite nice, actually.
Good. I'm glad, mate. I'm glad. Yeah, look, I'm going to get straight into it for tonight's show. Obviously, being away at Man City yesterday, a stadium where we've never taken a point away. I know that fans, players, the squad, the club as itself was really hoping for some points, but I think in the end we were. It's a fantastic effort, right? We've come a long way to get this far, and we had some players play fantastically, but we were playing the giants of Man City, so unfortunately it didn't quite go our way. Malcolm, we're going to come straight over to you first. Did you watch the game live?
Yes, of course, and pre-match, which they generally do on a Sunday on Sky Germany. They call it Match of the Week.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that Bournemouth was Match of the Week. And it was really, really cool because it gave a lot of exposure to Bournemouth pre-match. Obviously, the guy in the studio, and he had Thomas Hitzelsberger. So he played in the Premier League.
Yep.
Ex-German international.
Aston Villa, wasn't he?
Sorry?
Aston Villa, wasn't he?
I think he was, wasn't he?
Yes.
But absolutely brilliant. You know, and I was saying, why is it taking you so long? But kudos, that, news has been spread across Germany as well. So people that didn't already know will know a little bit more about Bournemouth, and not just how they are now, but how they actually got in to the Premier League, etc. So, it was, pretty condensed, but very, very positive. And I was really thrilled, that the club's got that extra exposure now. So, yeah, super.
Good. Really glad to hear that. Hopefully it'll continue moving forward.
Yeah, why not?
Craig, watched the show live?
I certainly did. Yeah, I watched it live. It was, to be honest, it was always going to be a difficult game. It was always going to be a challenge. But going into the match, in all honesty, I felt a little bit optimistic. I know Matt was a little bit more optimistic than me in my prediction, which is unusual, to be perfectly honest. I'm always the one going on about the title and stupid things like that. But to be honest, I was going into it a little bit optimistic, but also I thought, hey, a point wouldn't be a bad result here. just because we've been playing so well.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
yeah, very, very, very proud of the lads. Going into this one, it shows how far we've come. Like Malcolm said, to be on Game of the Week in an international country, little old Bournemouth minus 17. You wouldn't have thought that when we was playing Malcolm, would you?
It's really good. I mean, I went with an open mind. Yes, I predicted 2-2, and I just thought, well, take what comes, and hope you put in a decent shift, across the field. And to be honest with you, compared to other games that we played at Manchester, it was a really decent performance. To be honest with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It was. And I think, again, it's Giants and Man City, right? I'm going to pull the first half apart in a moment now. I mean, firstly, shout out to Haaland. You can see why he's known as the best striker in the world. You can see why he's slotting away so many goals. He's just fantastic. He's fantastic at seeing routes past the back four. He's fantastic at receiving the ball. He's been fantastic at finding goal shooting opportunities. He's the perfect striker. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's so hard to defend against. But we'll come to that in just a moment. I want to give a quick breakdown so that we can have our opinions. So obviously straight away, we came out on the front foot, really. 25 seconds in, I think it was, where Krupi flagged offside, but it went into the back of the net. I think that immediately showed what the game could give and the potential that was there. Excitement built up from that first move, the attack in that final third. That could have been a really different start to the game.
Well, to be honest, I started going on and I put in, because we got our own little group chat, while I was watching the game, and I was like, I can't see how that was offside. Of course, it was offside. You watch it back, you go, right, okay. The Bournemouth tinted glasses was taken off at that point, and I was like, right, okay, yeah, maybe so. But it sent a warning to Manchester City. And do you know what? That warning Manchester City heeded. It woke them up, and they knew that they were in a game. I know it sounds ridiculous, but maybe if that didn't happen, Man City might have just relaxed a little bit into the match. Whereas after that, they went full throttle.
Yeah, yes and no. I disagree. I think it would have happened either way. And I think what it did was it put us on the front foot, allowing us an edge in the game rather than being torn apart immediately and looking like we didn't have a chance now. I think what it did was it put us at the forefront of being like, right, this is a challenge. So whether you guys are bringing your A game or not, be ready to have a battle on every single position on that pitch.
Yeah.
I think that's the case. Obviously, early on, 17 minutes in, Haaland opened the scoring.
Yes.
Past Ollie Petrovic. But one of the biggest shout-outs for me, and it's the Bournemouth equaliser. First goal in the Premier League. It has to be a huge shout-out to Tyler Adams. Again, fantastic game for him, in my opinion. Any time the ball comes near him and he's on that screen, he is running. He is always running. He's constantly trying to put some kind of pressure on that ball if he's not on it. And I just think a game like Man City, a kudos has to be given there. Malcolm, first 25 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the offside goal, and it was very distinct what City were doing. Their back line, very, very, very well organised. When Bournemouth attacked or wanted to move forward, Rupi or whoever was on the front line always had to put the brakes on, come back, because the City were just so disciplined at the back. And it was going to be a very, very difficult job, really, after that. And just watch it through the whole 90 minutes, and they were doing it from the first minute to the last. So, you got to give credit where it's due. City were very, very good all over the pitch. Cherky, wow. I mean, what a pass to Haaland. I mean, there were some wonderful scraps, you know, one-on-ones throughout the game. And I just we went toe to toe with them. And like I said, okay, the first 25 minutes or so, yeah. I mean, we showed our intent. We wanted to, like you say, front foot, let's go get at them. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but we were always in with a shout. And even after they went one up, you know, I wasn't over worried that we're going to get steamrolled or anything, because there was just so much fight, and you know, the mentality of the players to get into the game and keep in the game just kept them going and going. They tried, and loads of effort. And I was really pleased that Tyler scored. Okay, I don't know if you've read anything online, but he said he's not fussed about the goal because it didn't win us the game. You know, so I can understand him feeling that way. But it just showed you against Forest and against Man City from corners, just putting somebody on the keeper. You know, wonderful, really.
Yeah, and you could see Donnarumma. You could feel his frustration, couldn't you? You could see it coming.
I mean, it was. I don't care what anybody says, and I've also got to say a big shout to I had it on English commentary, right? And they actually said it's amazing how many players they just get a light touch and they go down, and they want, you know, and he compared it to like women's football. He said, which you don't get in women's football. You know, he said it's just ridiculous. They are looking for a free kick, and if they don't get it, they're in the referee's face. And Anthony Taylor, I mean, he stood up to all that. To be honest with you, I thought he did, you know, a really decent job. Yeah, there were talking points throughout the game, to be honest with you. But first half, no. You know, I was happy enough with it. The performance was good. Annette, you can't fault them for effort. You really can't.
Absolutely not. Go on, Craig.
I think, you know, just going back to that Man City goal, Haaland, the way he runs, the way he, you know, and like you say, Malcolm, the pass by Cherky was it's just quality.
Yeah.
Just absolutely outstanding pinpoint pass. And Haaland, do you know what? I think Pep Guardiola did his homework on Bournemouth, because as soon as they saw Diakite was lining up, you know, they would have known Haaland is a lot bigger than this guy. They could have easily put Haaland in the centre and try and aim for his head. But as we know from seeing Diakite every week, he reads the game so well. He'll drop off, he'll come forwards. He reads the trajectory of that ball as it comes over and gets himself in the right position. Man City, you know, to our credit, thought, right, we can't play this way. So they were playing, you know, on the floor, and Haaland's runs. To be honest, Haaland had an absolute brilliant match. To be honest, that's got to be one of the best performances against, let's be honest, one of the toughest defenses that I've seen him play against. You know, I don't watch Man City every week, so of course, you know, there's probably times when he's probably done better. But you know, from what I have seen of them, you know, I thought Haaland was absolutely at first class. And, you know, we know he's a quality player. We know he's a world-class player. But, you know, it was just stepping up that gear. But I just want to come to our goal, because I don't think it got the credit it deserved. Firstly, Tyler Adam's well-taken goal. Well taken goal. But they were discussing on Sky, and with regards to David Brooks and a hold on Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Now, David Brooks did have his hand on Donnarumma's arm, but he was very clever.
Had it hooked round, yeah.
Yeah, he let it go before that ball came into the box.
Yeah.
It put Donnarumma off. He was flapping like anything. And Matt Ritchie and Shay Given was on there. Of course, Shay Given was a little bit more towards Man City. Matt Ritchie was the one that turned around and said, look at how clever he is. Look at what he's done. That's part of the game. You know, if you eliminate that, like the Man City fans were surrounding the referee. The Man City players were surrounding the referee, and of course the fans were getting on his back as well. You eliminate football. That's part of football. You know, that is part. You've got
Happens in every game.
physicality. Yeah, you've got physicality. You lose physicality from the sport, and you've lost everything. In fact, I'd like to go back to the days when you had Duncan Ferguson headbutting people, albeit,
Before you were born, Craig, back before you were born, strikers used to bundle the goalkeeper into the net.
Do you know what? Gutted, I miss those sort of days. Duncan Ferguson was a bit of a thug, but he was one of my heroes. In fact, if you do a little bit of research on him, one of the nicest blokes going. He does so much charity, but he was physical on the pitch. And we're not a physical team. We're not a physical team at all. But that is part of the game. And David Brooks played it so well. He's such an intelligent player.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely did.
Want to go in the chat?
Yeah, I'm going to round off the first half, and we're going to get in the chat. So Haaland, then obviously soon after, we equalised 1-1 with Tyler Adams. It's about 6 minutes after Haaland double City's lead again with Cherki on a threaded pass.
Yeah.
Again, just a fantastic goal, 1-on-1 with the keeper.
That's better than the first, to be honest.
It was. But again, similar breakdown of the defensive line. There was times when you saw Senesi being dragged out a little bit, or Diakite being dragged out a little bit, and then Trafford would be left caught out, not being dragged in far enough. And then just before the break, you saw City have several chances. We were scrambling a little bit going into that second half. Now, as I said, I'm going to come to the chat and I'm going to really break down this second half because there's a couple of questions I've got for you both. Jamie Kane says, evening, Craig, Matt, Ollie and Malcolm.
Yeah, hi, Jamie.
Hello, Jamie. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Sean says, just quickly look at the highlights in both our goals conceded. Diakite was out of position to me. It's going to have to be, you'd have to watch the full thing, mate, because Diakite did have a fantastic game. He was still very decent. He still had Haaland locked down in the air, just maybe not when he had him running at him.
We did play a high line, though, didn't we?
We did play a high line, and we got caught out a couple of times. Bear in mind, this set of games, so where you've got Andone Iraola, Pep Guardiola, and Unai Emery, right? They're all of them have come from the same realm and the same world. They've all had their interactions. I've seen recently a question to Andone, and I'm pretty sure they all text and they all talk and they're all chatting. Anyway. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were all trying to figure each other's game out and try and adapt to how each other plays, because they're all doing fantastic in their own way and have done in the past few years.
They've all tweaked things from last season, haven't they? So
exactly, yeah.
You don't really know what you're going to be coming up against system-wise. So
there's a good interview actually, and I encourage everybody to watch it after watching this whole show. It's a couple of years back when Andoni Iraola was first appointed. I spoke to a gentleman called Mikel Xtari, and he was the Basque country national team coach. And of course, Unai Emery, Andoni Iraola, Xabi Alonso, Mikel Arteta, Julian Lopetegui, they're all from the same region of Spain. And Pep Guardiola, of course, knows all of these guys. I don't think he's Basque, but I might be wrong. But Mikel Xtari was talking about how he coaches them. In fact, I've even, Mikel was so kind. I'm not going to put it up on, the channel because, of course, it is copyrighted work from Mikel. But he was kind enough to send me over a copy of his book, a PDF copy of his book in English. And I tell you what, how it breaks things down for a manager is absolutely incredible. The man is literally a genius, and he's coached and taught all these guys. So please watch that afterwards, guys, because it goes into a little bit more about these managers and the style, their thought process.
Maybe a topic for Cherry AM. Maybe that sounds like it could be a good one, the link between some of those and the region of Spain and where they've come from. But
do you know what? I would love to actually have another conversation with Mikel. You know, haven't spoken to him for a long period of time. His English is limited, put nicely. His English is very limited, so he couldn't really do a video like this. So I had to translate all his words into English and then, you know, narrate them myself. But I tell you what an intelligent man, and I'm so thankful to read his book because, yeah, it's incredible.
Good. Look, Jamie Kane says always going to be tough when you're up against Haaland, to be honest, but good to see Adams get his first goal for the Cherries. Yeah, I completely agree, Jamie. Sean and family, 1 minute before we conceded, I actually used the words we was in control. Always an omen, Sean. What have we got here? Jamie Keynes, who would you say was one of our best players yesterday, despite the result? We'll come to that shortly in a minute, Jamie. Chris Hubble, evening, everyone. Evening, Chris. Sean says, Krupi, for me, yes, he didn't take his limited chances, but he still got good chances, and rather he take the shots on than pass like other players. Yeah, fair point. Chris Hubble says, Krupi is a great player. Absolutely is. Jamie says, wasn't Krupi's best game, but I love to see him and Evan Nilsson up top together soon.
I don't
know. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think
because of this, because of Andoni's system. I can't see him playing two up front.
Yeah. No, neither can I. It'd be an interesting one. So again, maybe one that we discuss on Cherry AM this week.
Yeah, why not?
Sean says, once City scored, every time we tackled and got the ball from them, it would roll to a different City player. Haven't seen that all season so much. Fair guess to the game, I guess. Jamie Kane says, I'm very well talking to Chris in regards to the game on Sunday or Saturday against Villa. Oh, we're Sunday against
Sunday
Villa.
again. Yeah, Sunday again.
Yeah.
I think West Ham's Sunday as well in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah.
Interesting. Jamie Keynes will have a Nilsson earn his place back in the starting 11 anytime soon. Cherry AM conversation, Jamie.
Yeah.
Krupi will start for me if after about 5 games she doesn't score, switch with Iver, and that's how it should be if you're not in form.
I don't think it's anything to do with form. If you're playing well, even if you're not scoring, you know, you can still be on form.
Very true. Yep.
Yeah.
Talk Fan TV, evening Talk Fan.
Good evening.
And Jamie Kane says, hopefully Adams will score a few more goals this season, as for sure the goal yesterday will give him a much needed boost. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Adams adapts and gets better this season. Look, coming out into the second half, we obviously needed to go in, and I think there was a lot of expectation, which is a tad unfair in my mind. I think there was a lot of people expecting us to come away with certain points and expecting us to come out second half and really take over. It didn't quite happen as expected. Again, we're playing Man City. You know, we've never taken a point away from being away at this ground. But we did come out fighting again, and we didn't make it easy for them. They've got some fantastic players, and Nico O'Reilly extended the lead at 60 minutes. You know, you've got players like Doku really changing the kind of strategic element of the game with his variation of plays and passes. Again, just a fantastic player. So it was always going to be tough for us, right? Always. Yeah. My question is, and I think this is one of the biggest questions, is there a way that we could have come out second half and minimalised that vulnerability from Man City? Because they opened us up in a way that we hadn't been. Even against Liverpool on the first game of the season, we didn't look that vulnerable.
I think.
Yeah. Totally different. Different kettle of fish, really, isn't it? Man City. Different style. I mean, like you say, the starting 11, and if you look at the bench as well, who they can bring on, wow, you know, it's awesome. And yeah, you got that beast up front.
Quality, isn't he?
Yeah. And what I really like is, I mean, I love football, really do, and love him or hate him, Haaland will always try and stay on his feet. He does not go to ground. He likes a fight. He's very, very competitive. And it doesn't matter if he don't win the scrap. but he'll stay on his feet and go with the defender until whatever, you know. And you've got to go. That is for me a proper striker, not one of these guys who feels, you know, somebody breathing down his neck and then plop on the floor. But no, I mean, their midfield, they were just knocking it around. They were just waiting. And I mean, it wasn't consistently like 45 minutes because we were trying to get back into it, you know, with especially Antoine, you know, he was trying to make things happen wide on the left. But I've got to say, the one standout for me, the biggest scrap on the game was Doku and Jimenez. I mean, what a brilliant fight that was throughout the 90 minutes. Unfortunately, I had to go off injured. It was an unlucky incident that caught him, but wow. But it was great, and I think even Doku was enjoying it. You know, even when he got the better of, when Jimenez got the better of him, you know, they were having a go at each other, but it was like friendly, but very competitive. You know, and I thought, wow, that's sporting. That is really sporting for both players. Awesome. You know, and there were battles all over the field. And I was just loving that. And Bournemouth, you know, they did not disappoint the fans, to be honest with you. No. I mean, I was really proud the way we actually at least went at them when we could. But yeah, they are.
Agreed.
Yeah, they had, let's just say, they had to show a reaction after Aston Villa last week, didn't they, Man City?
Yeah.
100%.
So, you know, that was always in the back of my mind anyway. I think, well, what City are we going to see this week? You know, and at home, obviously, very, very tough call.
Yeah, and there's a couple of points I want to pick up on there. And the first one is how proud, because that's a similar feeling that I got, mate, when watching that team and watching them battle against City, especially in the first half, first 25 minutes when we had a goal in the first minute and then 1-1 equalising in the first half, again, against City, away at City, you know, like just an incredible feeling that first half. Absolutely incredible. And secondly, in regards to players falling over, you'd like to think, you know, that they learn from example. Haaland doesn't. You're absolutely right. He tries to stay on his feet. When he does stay on his feet, he has more attempts at goal rather than falling over and gaining free kicks, which ultimately turns into more goals for City. Now, again, you'd like to think playing a team like Bournemouth, the plan isn't go out there and wind them up and jump all over the floor, almost similar to how Forest played. You know, it was a bit similar. Or Palace with Sarr, crikey. You know, and we have these games against us. You don't expect it from City. Don't expect it from a keeper like Donnarumma. That goal was embarrassing. It was really on kick off.
I'm so proud of them. I am so proud because the thing is we're playing and we're going toe to toe. Let's be honest. Yesterday, you know, Manchester City were only 3-1 better than us. They were only 2 goals better than us, I should say, because of one man, and that is Erling Haaland. The man, you know, times his runs well. He's strong, you know, and he is something else. He's one of the best players in the world at this moment in time. But man to man, if you took Haaland out of the equation, we went toe to toe with Man City. We come out in that second half, like you say. We gave it a go. We did give it a go, and yeah, maybe he was caught napping a couple of times, but you know, we conceded only the 1 goal. You know, in that second half, that was through a little bit of lapse of concentration when the ball come back quite quickly at us.
Just on that, because there was a comment that I wanted to answer here, which links directly into what you're saying, Craig. Sean says, for me, it was easily Diakite's fault for City's first 2 goals. Don't get me wrong, he was against a machine that would beat even the best world players. But who was at fault for you guys? Now, I disagree with this, and I think you've just hit the nail on the head with one of your sentences. they were creating chaos. They were pulling us apart, right? So I don't think any one goal could be blamed on Diakite. Yes, he was pulled out of position and he could have done better against a firing machine like Haaland. But if we're to give him credit, that second goal, Trafford was way over on the bottom left-hand side. He was probably 5 meters keeping the line on. So there's mistake number one. If he was close to the fighter in, he would have been able to cut across to get Haaland. Mistake number one. And if we're trying to position blame, I have to say Senesi on that exact same goal was stood too far in front, too much on the halfway line. Because again, the difference that Haaland has managed to split those two centre-backs, Senesi and Diakite, all he's done is exposed the issue of how far they are apart. I don't think that's necessarily Diakite's fault. I think that's Senesi's fault for being too far up. But again, I just wanted to address that one, Sean, only because, in my opinion, I don't feel like I can say it's...
You can't blame one individual.
No. I don't feel that's fair on Diakite. I think he really had a tough game. He had a tough game against him. He had some of the world's best players running at him.
Yeah.
We're still only, 8 games into a fresh back four, let's bear in mind. We've only just started the season with players like Jimenez, Diakite, Trafford. We're not going to be perfect. It's never, ever gel like that, within the first 10 games.
We could potentially have put 2 men on Haaland, but if you do that and you focus too much on one player...
Yeah, well, that opens up space elsewhere, doesn't it?
Exactly, Malcolm. So I don't blame Senesi. I don't blame Diakite. I don't blame Trafford. I think that Man City did a very good job. They were spraying the ball around. They were pulling players out of positions where they wanted or should have been. Our players were, playing with that same intensity. It did take its toll throughout that match. You could see that. But we never gave up. Probably the only thing I would say, and I know that you've mentioned Jimenez and Doku, that battle was brilliant. It was a brilliant battle. The only thing I would say is maybe Lewis Cook could have come on a little bit earlier before the injury, because Doku was, putting in some tough challenges. It was good. But also, the thing is Lewis Cook just kind of steadied it a little bit. It was very, very high-paced. Cook come on, just calmed it a little bit. It slowed down that pace on that right back side. And if we had
wasn't there a forced change because Adams had to go off?
Yeah. There were, Cook come on for Jimenez, and it went into that right back position. To be perfectly honest, I think he slowed it down, and that slowing of that down might have added for a little bit longer, might have added a little bit of a different style that maybe Manchester City would have had to change and counteract. But I can't criticise a single player. I think every single player on that pitch for AFC Bournemouth did the club proud, did the badge
absolutely.
proud.
Absolutely.
Hey, we were coming up against, let's be honest, the best player, in my honest opinion, in the world at this moment in time, in Erling Haaland, playing for a Pep Guardiola team. And Pep this season has got them organised. That's the biggest thing. Last season, they weren't organised at all. Mm-hmm. He's got them organised. They've got a strategy now. They, in fact, play a lot more exciting football than they used to, because sometimes I went to Man City, games at home and I think, oh my God, always boring against Man City. It's a bit more exciting from them, but he's got them organised.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. I just want to touch on some of these comments here. Jamie Keynes, we pressed up too high for City's second goal. And the third goal, I can't really blame anyone for that.
No.
Yeah. Sean says Jimenez had the City player in his pocket and was annoying him, but should have came off straight away when injured as he was at part fault for the third goal?
I don't think he had an injury before that goal went in, really, did he? He had a couple of knocks. He was pushed around a bit. But
That came much later on, the injury.
yeah, there wasn't anything. Yeah, he'd taken a couple of knocks. I would have probably bought on. In honestly, this is just my honest opinion. I would have probably bought on Lewis Cook just to kind of steady and slow it down at the back, just give that little bit of reassurance because it was being played at such a high pace. Pace that maybe that stopping, thinking, passing, and then gradual build up might have just worked. Might not have been as exciting, but it might have just worked.
Could have done, absolutely. Jamie Kane says Jimenez was good, I thought, for most of the game. Agreed. And Chris says that he agrees with you, Craig. Liam says always proud to support the Cherries, aren't we all, Liam?
Yeah, absolutely.
Said I would have played Milo instead of Diakite due to the height of Haaland. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we did mention this pre-match, didn't we? On Thursday, Ollie, with our starting lineups, we weren't. I'd have done it simply because of height, but it's not just his height. Haaland, like I said, he's a beast, and he's got so much more to his game now than he had 2 seasons ago. Very difficult.
He's much more clinical with his feet than he is with his head.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, every game, I think he has at least 3 heading chances that don't go in. And yet he scores most games with his feet. So
Diakite reads it so well. He reads it so well.
Yeah.
Milo, he probably could have got his head on a lot of lofted over balls, but Man City didn't play that way because they knew that Diakite would read that. Fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean says when you're going against top teams, all you can hope for usually is to be competitive and have a chance, and we definitely did. And on another day, we could have got a result. Yeah, I agree with that.
Quite simple.
I back up the fact that if we played like that, how we did against City, we'll beat the likes of Arsenal. We'll beat the likes of Tottenham. We'll beat United. Like if we carry on playing like that, we've only got great to come. Yeah, we really, really have. Chris says. Ali,
always love that.
I always love being a Bournemouth fan. Fair, yeah, nice one, Sean. Well, if they didn't have Haaland, we would have got a draw, which would have been a brilliant result.
I agree.
I wouldn't have gone quite as far as saying we'd have got a draw, but we would have definitely been well on the way of doing better if they didn't have Haaland. Sure. Now, Sean says, I would say. Even with Haaland, a bit of luck, and we could have got something, and that's what you say against top teams. You need a bit of luck. Yeah.
And of course. Yeah.
It doesn't always go our way, right? I think expectation again with how we enter games like this. We come on fantastic runs. 8 games unbeaten since the Liverpool game, and second in the league, and all these other things. But please bear in mind, win or loss this weekend, we were still top 4. Which I don't think has ever happened in the history of Bournemouth again. We've never been able to say if we lose this game, we still stay in the top 4. But that's huge, really, really huge. Getting past at this stage.
Can I give a big shout out to Alex Scott?
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, we haven't mentioned him yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
They weren't a bad player from Bournemouth, to be honest with you. They didn't hit the heights against, that City team, but work rate, absolutely phenomenal. So I was really, really more than happy, with the performance. Shame about the result, but hey ho.
Yeah. These things happen. And I think the real show of character is going to be our next game. It's how we come away from a loss at City, Do we go into the next game with our heads hanging and thinking, oh, goodness, we've lost another one? No, of course we bloody don't. We go into that next game and we think, holy Christ, we could have got something there against City. Now let's go and smash Villa. That's the thought process that needs to be in all of them, really.
Villa, I've got to be honest, look very, very good. I know that they were beaten by Liverpool, but we'll come on to the Villa game, no doubt, later on in the week. But
Yeah.
they're no pushovers. It's two tough games as expected.
Yep.
These two.
Exactly. I think sometimes it's unfair to give breakdowns and thought processes. I've been really holding my tongue, trying not to bring up Gannon Doak, and I'm not going to, because I don't think it's fair putting his character and his type of player and how we use him off the sub bench into a situation like he was put into and then expecting results. I don't think that's fair to then sum that up. It's an unfair situation for him, and I think I think he really struggled. I think that was a real tough thing for him on Sunday.
Of course, yeah.
And you could see it. You could almost see it. But look, I think overall, fantastic effort that we've got to this stage. I think it's brilliant that we got a goal, and the first half was so on the edge of your seat. And I think watch this space for us. Really, we're going to continue to have exciting games where we surprise.
Season's long, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. This is just a blip.
Just
a blip.
These things happen. These things happen. Games win and lose all the time. Look, before we start to close out, I do want to get the thoughts of one of our other co-hosts who does join us every now and then. Please do give it up for Daz. Daz has sent us a pre-recorded video.
Here he is.
Hi all on the Cherry Slap Show. This is Daz, Cherry Down Under, and just my match analysis from the amazing game Manchester City versus Bournemouth. Let me start by saying that Man City, they're spending $330 million. There's 150 in the summer and 180 in January. Bournemouth, 131 million. Staggering difference, $221 million difference. And that can pretty much summarise what you get for $221 million in different spending. That's let alone club value or total squad value. But kick-off, we took the game to them. 49 seconds, Brooksy up the right, crosses it in. Creepy. Come on, mate. Half a yard offside. The goal was open. You were on your own. You only had to tap it in, mate. Have a look. It'd have come with experience, but unfortunately, could have been 1-0 up from the off. 17 minutes. Senesi anticipated step forward, header, through onto Haaland. I mean, Usain Bolt, say no more. Golden left boot. Petro unlucky, had a touch, but 1-0. 17 minutes. We need to mark that man a bit tighter. Then we get a corner. I'm thinking, Scott, he watched Tav last week. He's going to try and bend this in the top corner. Lo and behold, over it went. Oh dear. Donnarumma flapping like a fish out of water. And Tyler, nice little slot in. 1-1. Come on, bring it on, Bournemouth. Donnarumma moaning. I mean, the guy, he was in nowhere, man. He was in no man's land. Yellow card for, being petulant, basically. So, yeah, he deserved it. You can't flap around like a fish out of water like that and then blame everyone else for your mistake. Real upset. 1-1. Come on, boys, bring it on. 33rd minute. Oh, my God. We press high, we sit on the halfway line. What do we want to do with Usain Bolt? Let's give him a 100-yard sprint to the goal. Yep, happened again. The guy is an absolute machine. You just cannot give him that much space. Should have had man marking tight, just handed him out of the game like we did when we played him last time. He was so frustrated. Was Trafford playing him on? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, he was deep. Compared to Senesi and Ducati, but there you go, 2-0. All right, so 2-1 in at half time. Semenyo had a close one just before half time on the 35th minute, good save. And then out we come, second half. Croupy, 53rd minute shot. I think my granny could have hit that better with a Zimmer frame. Come on, Croupy, put your boots through it, mate. That's 2 mistakes today. To get up at 12:30 in the morning, I really need to see a bit of better performance in this, mate. Come on. 60th minute, Riley again picked up the ball, ran 15 yards with it, just basically placed it where he wanted to. There we were, 3-1 down. 9 corners, Man City, 2 corners, Bournemouth. Haaland, 4 shots, 2 goals. Bournemouth only had 2 shots, scored 2 goals. I'm going to just sum up with players' ratings. So the players' ratings for Haaland, 9.3. O'Reilly, 8.5. Doku, 7.2. A total of 25 points. That's pretty good for 3 players. Our players, Tyler Adams had a 7.9. Marcus Senesi, 7.1. And Lewis Cook, who only played for half a game, let's face it, got a 7. So 22 points. The difference, 25 to them, 22 to us, 3 points. Man City took the win and deserved the 3 points. Lots of positives to take from the game. We'll come out fighting again next week against Villa and bring it on. Up the chairs.
Spot on. Thank you, Daz. Really appreciate that, mate.
Yeah.
I love you getting involved and sending over your thoughts and giving your time, mate. Look, for now, really appreciate everyone being here as always. Next week, I believe we will have a much nicer update. You're going to point at someone in the chat below.
Yeah, we got another Aussie in the chat there as well.
Yes, we do. We do. We have got Paul from Oz.
Oh, I've missed that. Oh, sorry, chaps.
Yes, yeah, here we go.
I've got it. Yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah, sorry to join late. Their plan to stop Anton worked. Ours to stop Haaland didn't. Still putting a good performance all round and still way up the league. Paul from Oz. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Exactly. Yeah. Good show, Paul.
Paul.
Sean and Jamie and a couple of others are all discussing the coach to the Villa game, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Any of you guys can get together, that'd be amazing. Chris says up the cherries. Sean asks any recommendations on a pub, and Jamie Kane says good show, up the cherries.
Yes. For
the rest of the evening, I really hope you guys have a fantastic week ahead. Me and Malcolm will join you on Cherry AM tomorrow morning. But other than that, up the cherries, and Cherry Slaps will be back next Monday.
Nearly kick-off time.
Kick-off time, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Jamie, we'll have to.
We'll be here next Monday.
We'll have to see you next week.
Thanks, guys, and have a great evening. Ciao for now.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Up the cherries.
Thanks, everyone. Up the cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.